Greetings. This is Justin Allen with the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. Sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take the measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked to the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking to Alia, who is a family nurse practitioner. Currently, she is rounding in nursing homes, providing neurological services. She's in the process of starting her own practice and is getting ready to sign the lease. She is starting a men's health practice where she will focus on testosterone replacement therapy, weight loss, and fertility enhancement. She's needing assistance with pricing her services, overcoming analysis paralysis, and getting over $100 questions instead of focusing on the $10,000 questions. Hey, Alia, how are you?
Hi, Justin. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for hopping on here. Tell us about yourself and how long you've been a nurse practitioner for, and kind of what you've been into.
Yeah. So I was an RN I worked for 4 years. I went back to school after working as a med-surg nurse for 2 years. And then I graduated from NP school in 2017. I worked in a CVS Minute Clinic for about 6 months. The pandemic happened. I had a baby, so I stopped working. And then I just started working again. It's been about 8 months in nursing homes doing consultations for urology. So I don't have too much experience being a nurse practitioner.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So, where's your confidence level at right now in terms of just, operating as a nurse practitioner?
Even in the Minute Clinic, I don't know how familiar you are with how they run. Pretty much have like a week's worth of training with another NP, and then they just throw you in. And then you can just call if you have any questions to other NPs and whatnot. So I had very minimal support when I was working with them. And then even this job, it was kind of just had to learn everything myself. And, you would think as a urology NP, you know a lot, or you would have like extensive training. I was trained, quote unquote, for like a week, maybe a total of like 40 hours, and I was on my own. So I realized, I don't know if it's all jobs, but a lot of these jobs, like NPs you just kind of figure it out on your own. And I think I've done a great job. I do a lot of research on my own with this urology job right now in this position. So it just got me thinking, like, if I could do this for other companies with minimal training, and I could probably do something on my own as well.
Super correct. If they're only going to train you for 40 hours and throw you to the wolves, you might as well start your own practice and, earn all the upside, right?
Right. Yeah. And especially with this urology gig, they have no overhead. Even with the CVS Minute Clinic, I had no manager, no one to check up on me. I think I got a call a week after I started working. Hey, how's everything? And I'm like, great. Thank you. And it's the same thing at this job. So I think I just fall into these jobs also because I can't do a Monday through Friday 9 to 5. Or like just a primary care, like that doesn't excite me. So maybe, I don't know if that's just what it is, that I pick jobs that are just not that like mainstream.
Yeah. I tend to agree with you. I'm kind of similar in nature too. ER and urgent care really aren't mainstream. You have a little more awkward hours and stuff. Yeah. Okay. So I guess that you're going to maintain working. I assume you probably have somewhat flexible hours at at your job.
Yes. So I just have to see like 20 patients. I can like pretty much go in whenever. It's a nursing home. The patients are always there.
Right. They're not going anywhere.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
just I was full time and I recently now I'm working part time. So I work 2.5 days. I just have to see my 50 patients a week. And I just scaled back. I think it's been about a month because I really, wanted to focus on getting everything lined up for the men's health practice.
Gotcha. Okay. So,
Yeah.
financially speaking, I'm assuming you're doing okay then. Like bills are paid. You're not going to be super stressed going into starting your own business.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about that. Like I said, I wasn't working for 2 years prior to this. So, it's I just wanted to get out of the house basically. So, it's fine. And I actually, I wanted to work, I have funds to put into the business now. So, my husband's taking care of the bills and I'm taking care of everything related to the business.
Perfect. Okay. So you're in a pretty good situation, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So you're going to start a men's health practice while kind of working part time, which is, that's following the Elite NP model. It's perfect. It's exactly what you need to do. So you're going to be doing this kind of a part time practice, and you're getting ready to sign the lease. So you're pretty much right, almost there. I mean, you're getting started.
Yes, I have like all of those, like the EMR and all of those things to do. But I'm like, once I sign the lease, it'll just happen. And I hear that a lot from the podcast and whatever, you say that a lot. Like, once you sign the lease, all those little things will just like fall into place. Like I'll just have to make it happen.
Pretty much. I mean, once you sign
Yeah.
that lease, like you are locked in. I mean, you could always get out of a lease, but you're on the hook for paying that monthly lease until
Hmm.
someone else rents it. So if you're in analysis paralysis and you're on the fence, forcing yourself to get started, sometimes just signing that lease and just doing it's the best thing you can do. So you found a place.
Yes. So the area that I'm in, I looked around consecutively for I think a month, and a lot of them it was like $2,500 a month for like 1,000 square feet or 1,200 square feet, and they were in suites. And I had emailed you about this as well, and you replied saying it's not a big deal that there's no signage for a men's health clinic anywhere in the city. They're all in suites, like in medical offices in a suite, and that's why I was looking into just opening like, an office in a suite. But you said it's fine. The doctors probably just don't want to operate that way in a like a retail, like a storefront with a sign.
Yeah.
Because I think that's something you say a lot, like, have your sign. And I didn't find not even one clinic with the signage. So I was just so confused. Is it like something that's not allowed or
It's not something that's not allowed. It's probably just, finding a spot. I mean, I don't think there's any grand reason why no one has a men's health clinic without a sign. It's
without
probably
sign?
just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably just a convenience thing at the time. Like there just wasn't a location, what I mean, that someone could rent. My opinion is that if you can find something with roadside frontage, definitely get it because I mean, it's basically free marketing and people
Yes.
will just walk in. But if you can't, it's not the end of the world. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, most people anymore are going to find your business, just on Google, on just a search. So
Yeah.
it's really not that big of a deal. So I guess to quantify it, let's say that from a scale to one, from 1 to 100, 100 being, having 100 patients show up on a weekly basis and, zero being zero. If you have a spot that's in a suite or, in an office building with no roadside frontage and people are just finding you on Google and search ads and that kind of a thing, we'll call that 80. If you have something that's with roadside frontage, we'll call that 85 or 90. It's really not going to be a make it or break it thing. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rent here is $3,000 for it's 1,900 square feet. It's basically a home, you can say. There's an attic space. There's a basement that is not usable at all. And then there's a main floor, and there's three separate entrances. So there is an option to sublease, just in case I can't make money like for that rent. So that was the reason why I just went with it, even though $3,000 a month is like a good amount, I guess, right?
Well, I mean, is that an affordable, cheaper option in your area?
So it's either 2,000 in a suite or this is like a storefront, and there's 40,000 vehicles that pass this location. It's like on the turnpike.
Oh, I
So
got you. So, I
daily,
mean, so it's a good spot and you can put a sign
it's
out there.
I can put a sign.
How big's that sign?
Very big.
Perfect. Okay. Like it's not like
Yeah.
little bullshit 2 foot sign. I mean, it's a real
No.
sign.
Yeah. Yeah, probably like 8 foot sign.
Oh,
It's on
okay.
it. And there's another one of those like billboard types, like on the
Oh,
sidewalk as
oh,
well. Yeah. So originally it was supposed to be 5,000 and the guy can't find anyone and he's like, just pay my taxes. He said my taxes or whatever the number he said, and it came down to 3,000 a month.
okay. Perfect then. I mean, well, okay. So listen, you can either get that and have essentially a billboard out on a main road, or you can have the other thing for
Yeah.
$2,000. So think about that extra $1,000 as part of your marketing budget because that sign is going to bring
Yeah.
patients to the door.
Right. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I did because I listened to all your podcasts and I'm like, I think this is what Justin would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that extra thousand, it's basically free marketing. Like I don't have to spend like that $1,000 for whatever, like SEO. I mean, I
Exactly.
still would have to do that. But in the beginning, at least it would give me a push. Like there's 40,000 vehicles passing that road every day.
You're going to get patients from that. I guarantee you will. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, you're going to. There's no question about it. I say if the space is nice, it's got a good sign, you've walked around it, it doesn't really need any work, you feel like that you can make it work, I say go for it.
Yeah, you know what? Just that it does need work. It's when you walk in, it's just open and there's two rooms. The patients waiting in the lobby would see the patients going in the room. So I would just need to like build a wall. But we had a contractor come in and he estimated like $6,000. The landlord is not willing to do the build out, but he said he'll give 2 months concession time. So
Okay.
that's so I wouldn't be paying until March.
Oh, well, I mean, it's the same thing at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
this contractor's just got to put a wall up, that's it.
Wall, and then it's like run down the inside, so he's gonna do like the wiring and everything. It used to be a home improvement building slash that space, so they just ripped everything apart, so it's as is. So
I
the
got you.
landlord, yeah, so yeah, I think it's been vacant for over a year now. And at this point, he's willing to give it for 3,000, but he's like, you'll have to do your own build out, and I can, give you concession time. I mean,
Okay.
I guess that's 2 months of, free advertising or whatever. If I put a sign up, I don't
Yeah,
know.
pretty much. Okay, so basically the guy's going to build a wall and he's going to make it look pretty. He's going to put some paint up and that kind of thing, right?
Hmm. Yes.
Okay. And it'll be functional after that.
Yes.
I don't want this turning into a money pit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you're confident it's going to be okay after $6,000.
Yes.
All right. Just checking. Okay. Perfect. I mean, that's not that big of a deal. $6,000 for that. I mean, it's not a big deal. And then, you're going to have to furnish it and put all that kind of stuff into it. So, I'm going to probably estimate here that you're probably going to need 20 grand total to get this thing up and running. Is that kind of what you've
Yeah.
estimated?
If it's 6,000 for the build out, how much do you think it would cost to furnish it? That's what I was going to ask because it's not a medical office at all now. It's just like open, like in the rooms. What is like necessary?
For a men's
Like,
health practice, you need one exam table. One.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
This isn't a standard medical practice where you're going to have multiple exam tables in multiple rooms and all that kind of stuff. No, no, no. You don't need any of that. You need one room for, like giving injections in, and you need another room for doing the consultation in. So basically a desk and like, an exam table. And then maybe
okay.
another room for like supplies, the lab stuff. That's pretty much it.
Got it.
Okay. You don't
Okay.
need yeah, I mean, you do not need multiple exam rooms and you don't need all that kind of stuff. You don't need sinks in every room. And think of this more or less as more of a consultation thing. The majority of the work you're going to be doing with the patients is going to be you sitting at your desk and them sitting across from you. Okay. You typically only need to do an exam on the initial visit. That's it. All right. You don't even need to spend a lot of money on an exam table. You can go buy one of those $300 or $400 massage tables and that'll work.
Okay.
You don't need to buy a $2,000 exam table that has an electric engine on it that it goes up and down pressing a button. You don't need that.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, furnishing it, some chairs, some pictures, a plant in the corner, a computer, a printer, a fax machine.
Right.
I furnished
Yeah.
my second men's health practice and I furnished it nice. Okay. We just used a massage table for the exam table. Okay. I think I got that thing for $200 off Craigslist or something. Like the lady just showed up and was like, here you go. And it was like one of those mobile ones. She had it like in this briefcase and it folded out. I'm like, okay, this will work. Here's your $200. So,
Yeah.
anyways, though, I think we furnished that thing: computers, fax machine, printer, chairs, tables, pictures. I mean, everything. 7,500
Yeah.
bucks.
Right. I think that's what I was thinking too. I think it'll be less than 20,000
Yeah, I was thinking more like total cost for everything, like
total. Yeah.
marketing,
Yes.
EMR, everything. 20 grand.
Everything, meds, yeah, supplies,
Meds,
yeah.
supplies, all of
Mhm.
it, and the $6,000 build out, 20 grand at
Right,
most.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which really isn't that much money. You should be able to make that back in a matter of, 6 months, I would imagine. And that's
yeah.
worst case scenario.
Right, right. I have a question about the labs. Do you think that's something that from the get-go that I should draw or just send out?
Are you planning on, running this thing yourself at first?
So that was my question. Like, because I work 2.5 days. So what is the best thing to do? Like just hire like a medical assistant for those 2.5 days to see patients, to explain things to them and make appointments for when I am there? What do you think?
Two things. Number one, how much money do you have budgeted for this?
I have like 40,000.
40,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Number two, do you have much competition?
There's no signage, but other than that, yes, there are urologists that offer the service and like DOs and some MDs. Yes.
That's not competition. Men's health.
Yes, yes, I do. There are a couple of them, but again, it's zero signage.
Okay. And how many people are in your area population wise? Would
This
you?
county, there are like 1.5 million.
Okay. So quite a few. All right. So, I mean,
Yeah.
this is a densely populated area.
Yes.
Okay. If there's only a few men's health clinics, I mean, I'm sure there's enough business to go around, is what it sounds like.
Yes. There's one, he's a urologist who does it, and he has like 4 or 5 clinics like scattered in like 2 different counties.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then there's a couple that are a little further.
Yeah, but you got roadside frontage and stuff, though. So, yeah.
They take insurance. I've been to one of the locations and I've looked at their websites. Seems more of like a urological
More of a
setting.
right, right. If he's taking insurance,
Yeah.
he's forced to follow the insurance guidelines and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and I asked them, I'm like, what if I don't have insurance? And they're like, we do cash. And he charges $60 a visit. So, I mean, they do offer it. So that was my other thing, like pricing. I was just going to go off of whatever he's doing, which is $60 a visit.
Yeah, let's talk about
And then
that. Okay.
yeah.
Back to the MA question and, and the lab
Yeah.
draw. So if you got 40 grand to spend, let's say you're going to drop 15 to 20 for the initial startup costs and everything, you probably should start getting patients in the first 3 months. The business should be on autopilot. It should basically be paying for itself after 3 months. It should. Do you have any idea how much a receptionist or a medical assistant would cost in your area, on an hourly basis?
Like 20 an hour.
20 an hour. Okay. So let's just say 20 an hour. I think that you should hire an MA that's going to work about 30 hours a week for you.
Okay.
That's going to cost you about $2,400 a month. Not that much money,
Okay.
honestly. It's really not. Okay.
Okay.
So $2,400 a month. This person should be there, 4 days a week. I'd say just be open 4 days a week. Just be open like Tuesday through Friday or something. This person
Okay.
should be there 8 hours a day, essentially.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, they basically should be there, on the part-time, full-time kind of basis. They need to be answering phones. They need to be drawing labs on people who are coming in the door, that kind of stuff. This person's going to run your practice when you're not there. All right. And then when you're there, a few days out of the week, then you guys will work together and that kind of a thing. It's going to be slow the first couple months, just expect it. So I would advise hiring someone at, 30, 32 hours a week. And then that way you have someone always there. So that way if people walk in, and they will walk in, there's someone there. It's more professional, and if you have the money for it, that's what I would advise doing. Especially if you're going to be dropping $3,000 a month and you're going to have something on a main road. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the lab draws go, if this medical assistant is comfortable doing it, you certainly can draw them there, or just hand them an order and have them go down to LabCorp or something. Like, it ultimately just depends on how busy you are. I mean, if you have time, then draw them there. It's more of a patient convenience satisfaction thing. If you are busy, though, people coming in the door and all this kind of stuff, hand them a lab order and tell them, go down to LabCorp or whatever.
But I'm assuming it's just better for customer satisfaction if you just draw it, and especially when they come in and then the medical assistant can tell them, like, we draw your blood here. I guess it's another reason for them to like go on with the program, right?
Correct. If it, from a convenience standpoint, yes, if you can draw the lab work there, it makes it for a much more convenient, patient experience.
Right. It's kind of like there's no reason for them to say no.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you have
Or like, or I'll think about it or something like that, right?
right, if you have standing orders, and you should, just a standing men's health order for the labs discussed in the course, just use that as a standing order. Those labs, same labs, everyone gets the exact same labs. Just sign off on the standing order. Someone comes in, the MA can just draw it right then. Someone walks in, they're interested to get going. Boom, same day, labs are done. As soon as results get in, we'll call you, schedule your visit.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in terms of pricing goes, I mean, you can price per visit if you want and that kind of thing, or you can just do more of a membership kind of, program. I'm a fan of memberships personally, more of a subscription based thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The competition around here, it comes out to like $300 a month without insurance. And do you think that's too much? I mean, because a lot of the numbers that I hear over the podcast are lower. I guess it just depends on the area.
Totally
Do you have
depends
any
on the
advice
area.
on that? Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about the economic situation in your area.
It's like mostly middle class, I would say, like college educated mostly. So it's like 115K is the average salary.
Okay, so yeah, so upper middle class then. So people people
Yeah.
have some money to drop, yeah. And plus, you're
Yeah.
always going to have some ballers in the area. I mean, you just always are. You have business owners and
Mhm.
people who make 300,000 plus a year. Okay, so $300 a month. I mean, honestly, that sounds expensive to me. I mean, this can be profitable at $150 a month. I mean,
Yeah.
the testosterone is only it's only going to cost you $30 at the compounding pharmacy
Yeah.
for a 2 to 3 months supply. So you could
Yeah.
undercut everybody and get busy real quick. If everyone else is paying $300 a month, you could come in and charge 180, and that includes the visits,
Okay.
the testosterone, and the supplies. Anything else is an
Yeah.
add-on.
Right.
What are these people getting for $300 a month? At the other
The-
places.
yeah. So the way they phrase it is we give you anything that you might need. And well, I speak to them like I'm a patient. So
Right.
I think they mentioned something like an estrozole. And like, I think, if they would need any sort of estrogen or something, I think that's what they mean. Like if anything were to pop up, they would cover it. I think that's what they mean by it. And then the labs are not included, just the testosterone and probably like,
The
a
anastrozole.
supplement. Yeah. And
Right.
estrozole. Yeah.
Yeah, just include an estrozole with it. Big deal. That stuff costs nothing. Can you
Right.
dispense
Yeah.
medications out of your practice in your state?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
then you
Cannot
can.
mark them up.
Okay, that's fine. You're not marking them up. They're
Yeah.
included. They're
Yeah.
included in the membership. That's how you get around that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. I read your article from, I think, last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Right, exactly. That's how you get
Yeah.
around it. You might not be able to mark it up,
Mhm.
but if it's included in your membership price, then you don't have to worry about it. Now the anastrozole, a bottle that costs like $3. It costs nothing.
Right.
Don't even charge for it. I'd give it away for free. It's whatever.
Yeah.
That's included in the whole price, $180 a month, if they need it.
Okay. Do you think that's like the higher end that you've seen, like 180 a month?
Oh no, I've seen people charge $300 or $400 a month for that. It just
Okay,
totally
but you're.
depends on your area.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, I know some men's health clinics in places like, Las Vegas that charge $300 or $400 a month. I mean, crazy
Yeah.
numbers.
Those are like the prices around here, though.
Okay. 180 to $200 a month, you're still making decent money. The margins
Right.
are fantastic with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the $60 a week, I think that was coming up to 260. So again, like closer to the 300. So I
Right.
guess even if I'm like closer to 200, it would beat the competition.
And that includes the testosterone from like a compounding pharmacy with them.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I say charge 200, undercut everyone.
Right. Okay. Sounds good. Do you know anything about there's some practices that can test you for testosterone and they have results within 15 minutes. Do you know anything about that?
The point of care.
Yeah.
Big
No.
deal. Those things are expensive.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, they're not CLIA waived.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not a CLIA wave test. They're moderate complexity, which
Mhm.
means you have to have a lab director. So now you're paying some
Oh,
pathologist or something money to have a
okay.
lab director on site. This
Yeah.
whole get your testosterone result in 15 minutes. I mean, okay, we should have to draw your blood work. We should have to recheck all your blood. We have to still
Right.
check all your CBC, FSH, LH, your TS. We
Yeah.
still have to,
Make a proper diagnosis.
it's a
Yeah.
marketing gimmick.
Exact. And you see like someone like me, I'm like, oh, that sounds really like cool. Like like right away. Like as a customer, I'm sure people are drawn to that. Get your results right away.
Yeah, I'm sure they are, but I
Yeah.
mean,
But then, yeah, they don't think about that. They do need their blood work drawn again for to make a proper diagnosis. Yeah, I didn't think about
Right. Exactly. This is something I wouldn't worry about.
that. Okay.
All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all Elite Nurse Practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and that other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode. Yeah, I mean, if I owned like 30 men's health clinics, I could have one lab director overseeing all of them, then I might consider it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think it was one of the bigger companies that did offer it.
Yeah, I think that like Low T Center or whatever does that.
Yeah.
But, they probably have like one lab director that oversees all the practices. That the whole lab director for a moderate complexity CLIA lab is something on paper.
Okay.
Yeah, but I am not aware of any point of care testosterone tests that you can do in clinic that are CLIA waived.
Okay.
It's not like a strep test.
Okay. Yeah. Understood.
Yeah. So any questions so far?
No, I think the part about having the medical assistants really did clear things for me, because I'm like, if you're the provider, it's kind of like you go and you do the whole intake, you tell them what it's about, draw the blood, and then you will tell them about the payment. It's seems a little like challenging, but I guess having like you said, because since it is like a storefront, like having someone there will just make things easier. But I think you've said this before too in your podcast, in terms of like we don't have to worry about having like the benefits or anything like that, right?
Not for one or two employees, no.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about that.
Okay. Like, what is the process of like setting up payments for them? Like, do you know anything about that?
Payments for what?
Like, obviously, I can Venmo you're hiring someone. So, is there like a system that you have to buy or a software or something?
Oh, you mean for payroll? Yeah, you just QuickBooks or Gusto is fine. You do that yourself. There's nothing to it. Yeah, you just link your bank account to it, and then they give you their bank account information to it. You set up a direct deposit. Pretty simple.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I used to do my own payroll myself when I only had one employee. Then when I got two, then I had to factor in all the income taxes. It just started getting more complex. I just had my accountant do it for me. But in your case right now, you can just do it yourself with QuickBooks or Gusto.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. If your state has an income tax, QuickBooks or Gusto should factor in that income tax itself and should distribute that income tax to the state on, your business's behalf.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All that should be set up within the payment processor or the payroll software. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No, I was just looking through the advancements health course. Would you recommend that I wait until I get the testosterone replacement therapy down before introducing or even advertising something that I manage fertility?
Have you took the course, the advanced course yet? Like have you took it?
Yeah, I have to review it though.
If you understand all of that, it's going to make you just a better men's health provider in general, right? Because you're going to understand all the different pathways. You're going to understand all the different treatment options and stuff. So, you being able to understand that from the get-go is just going to make you a better provider. I think that you should offer the, fertility enhancement and fertility treatment and evaluation, because ultimately it's really not that much different than just doing the initial evaluation. I mean, you're only adding a few additional tests and asking a few additional questions. It's really not that difficult. We advertise it on our website, infertility treatment for men and, fertility enhancement. We advertise it on our website, and it's not a huge in-demand thing. I mean, I might see maybe a couple dozen of those patients a year. So it's really not that big of a thing. It just makes you look like you have a more robust men's health clinic if you offer it as a service line.
I see. I guess most patients would go to a fertility specialist, right? Perhaps.
They can, yeah, but like when it comes to infertility in men, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
kind of got that from the course.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not like women. I mean, there's a lot of different
right.
options, when it comes to, female infertility, but with men, either your testicles produce sperm or they don't. Like
Hmm.
there's not really not
Not
a whole lot
not
going
much to
on
do.
here. Right.
Right.
I mean, there's a little bit more of the differential diagnosis than that, but I mean, it's
Mm.
relatively straightforward. Yeah. And
Yeah.
plus, you'll just get established men's health patients too, just kind of asking for it. It'd be like, hey, me and my wife have been trying for the last year and a half. Nothing's happening. Could I be infertile?
Yeah.
Well, let's do an evaluation and see.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got it. And then I also took the weight loss course, and it's very detailed and it's very overwhelming. Is it okay just to focus on like semaglutide and phentermine?
perfectly fine.
Because because
Perfect.
I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the patient because like, I don't have the knowledge of those list of medications that Justin Gross goes over, you know? It's like, do you think it's just okay to limit it to those two options?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. I wouldn't worry too much about that. I mean, phentermine, semaglutide, I mean, that's pretty much going to be the majority of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then your other course, I took the Botox course with Cassie Lane. And I know you said that you do give a little Botox here and there to your men's health patients. Is that correct?
Every once in a while. I don't do it very often. I don't really even advertise it.
You don't.
My malpractice, they were kind of being bastards about it. And so I was like, you know what,
Oh,
then I'm not gonna fool with it. Like
yeah.
they were gonna tell me they were just gonna yank my policy and all this stuff because aesthetics Botox wasn't covered underneath it. And I was just like, I don't want to shop for another policy right now. And
Yeah.
it was one of those things that I mean, I did it a handful of times for some of my patients.
Right.
But
Yeah.
if you want to offer it from the get-go as an additional service, you certainly can. I mean, some of the older men will pay for Botox.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was going to go to Cassie just because of whether I couldn't. And I'm probably going to go to her maybe this month or next month to take her business and Botox course, the hands on one.
Okay, yeah.
And then I guess we'll go from there. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that I definitely wanted to add on. Just Botox for men, something super simple because I was looking into the whole thing with the fillers and everything, and I just got
Ah,
so overwhelmed. Yeah,
yeah, don't complicate it with all that stuff. Not with men. Just, a little Botox is fine. That's not going to be your moneymaker here. So don't focus
yeah.
too much on it.
I did spend a lot of time on it, and then like it's not worth it.
No,
And
you're gonna make
yeah,
more money and see more patients for the testosterone and the weight loss than anything else.
right. Yeah, it's just I don't know. As nurses, I just want to have that skill. Like you're in the hospital and you just want to be good at IVs, just so you have it under your belt. It's just one of those things that I just want to know. I just want to learn it.
Sure, I get that.
And yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, go for it for sure. I mean, I see no problem with that at all. Just don't make it your priority.
Okay. Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, I don't think so.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it sounds like you got a pretty good plan here. It sounds like you got a good head on your shoulders. I mean, you've really put a lot of thought in this. I think
Yeah.
you're probably going to do pretty good on with it.
Yeah, I bought your course in August 2022, and since then I've just been listening to all your podcasts, writing down notes from everyone who comes on here, taking their advice, seeing how they fix their mistakes and whatnot. So the podcasts have been really helpful and encouraging because there is so much self-doubt. I don't have a lot of experience as an NP, but I took the course and I'm like, this is pretty simple. This is something that it's very similar to what we learn in nursing school without, it seems like, the negative feedback loop, the ROS system, it doesn't seem like it's too complicated.
It's really
Um,
not. It's not. It's not. I
yeah,
mean, I've said it before in other podcasts. I mean, managing diabetes or someone's blood pressure, I think, is a little bit more difficult than managing someone's testosterone. Like, it's really not that
right.
hard.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah. So you saw the simplicity. That's good.
Yeah. No, thank
Yeah.
you so much for this platform and for Elite NP. Like I guess I always knew that I just wanted to do something like venture out, but you really did, provide the whole structure, and it's just been like life changing.
Well, it's a pleasure to help. And I hope that this clinic blows up for you. I mean, you got a great location. You're offering in demand services. you're going to price this competitively. I don't see how it could fail. So I think you're on the right path. Yeah. Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to everything you have to offer, all your courses. And I think you mentioned in the last podcast that you would be telling us the date to, I think, like a conference or something in person.
Yeah, it's still kind of in the works. I mean, I just had my
Congratulations.
thanks. Yeah. I mean, I just had
How
my
is he?
he's doing fine. He's got a little bit of I guess colic.
Oh, okay.
And you can
Yeah,
tell his
that's tough.
stomach kind of cramps and hurts and stuff after he eats. So unfortunately, I don't have the nice, quiet, peaceful baby. I got one that likes to scream. But I mean,
I
otherwise,
had one of those. Yeah, my first one was just like that, and I have a 10-month-old, and she's the complete opposite.
yeah,
So fingers crossed for the next time.
that's
Yeah,
right,
for
right, right.
you.
Right. Yeah, I want to, so we're really hoping the second one is a little bit more laid back. Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
anyways, I like to end the episode with you asking me a question. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask you about your son and how, fatherhood has been for you. I'm sure it's only been a couple of weeks though.
Yeah, it's been a little over a month now, and it definitely puts into
Yeah,
perspective that I really need to not mess around and really be serious about being the breadwinner in the family and really supporting the little guy throughout the next
yeah,
18, 20 years. So it really puts into perspective
right.
just how important what it is that I'm doing for him is supporting the family and whatnot. So it's definitely changed my perspective on some things. You can't be as selfish as you used to be. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no more going to the casino on Saturday night kind of a thing. Yeah.
You
So,
couldn't go even if you wanted to, I'm sure. Your wife is probably like, "Excuse me?"
yeah, I don't think she's gonna. Yeah, she's not gonna go for that right now. So,
Yeah,
but
it
but
gets better though. It gets better after like 3 months. The sleep will come in. It definitely does.
perfect.
You will sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear. It's it hasn't been too bad at night, knock on wood, but I've definitely been
Okay.
lacking some sleep though, for sure. But well, hey, listen, I appreciate you hopping on here, and I would love to do a follow up. So if you ever want to do a follow up, you got my email. So holler at me in 3 to 6 months, and I wish you the best of luck.
Yes. Just quickly, Justin, are you still I think you were gonna get back about the tier of 3, 4, and you're changing the memberships you said. What's the update on that? And the
Yeah,
one-on-one consultations are like, when do you think you'll be available for those, if need
Uh,
be?
one-on-one consultations probably will be for a little while. I really just want to get everything settled down with being a dad first and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really trying to focus more on course development as well. I have a couple of big changes for Elite MP in 2023, so I'm just putting a lot of the consulting on hold right now, just
Okay.
because I'm just lacking in time. And if I want to keep doing these
Right.
podcasts, it's really hard juggling consults with the podcast, with course
Yeah.
development, all these different things. So
Right.
I'm just putting it on hold for a while. I really don't know when.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, thank you. This podcast, it was, I'm so like grateful for your time. Thank you so much. And I just needed, even the one-on-one consultation, I just needed you to say it's okay, sign the lease. So, I
Sign,
got that from the podcast.
yeah, sign that lease. Just sign it and get going. Seriously, like
Yeah.
it's the number one thing you can do. Sign that lease and just go.
Yeah. Yeah. I just needed to hear that from you.
Yep. Well, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Justin. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
I take care.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right. I hope everyone enjoyed the episode with Alia. She seems like she's got a pretty good plan in place. I mean, you really can't go wrong with men's health and weight loss services, really. She's got a good location, roadside frontage. You don't need roadside frontage, so don't get analysis paralysis over it. But if you can get something with roadside frontage, definitely go with it. I think it will make for a little bit more of a successful practice. But yeah, I think the big thing here is if you're on the fence, starting your own practice, you have a location picked out, just sign the lease. I am telling you, that is something that will lock you in. If you are just paralyzed by fear, if your mind is going all over the place, you just cannot get started, go sign that lease. Every single time I ever started a practice, that was the factor that just told me, okay, I can't mess around, I can't screw around here. I gotta get started. I gotta go. Just sign the lease. Go in there, just close your eyes, grit, and just sign it and go. Okay, if you do that, it'll force you into action. It'll force you to get started, unless you enjoy paying $2,000 a month for absolutely nothing. All right, so that's what I'm saying. Sign that lease and get going if you are paralyzed by fear. All right, hope everyone enjoyed this episode. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.